Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we'll be highlighting American celebrities who have passed away today and in the past few days, along with other notable figures from around the world. Before we proceed, we kindly ask you to show your love and support by giving this video a like. It truly means a lot to us. Thank you. And now, let's begin.
I feel great right now. I really do, and feel like I'm getting ready to head back to...
Dee Freeman, the beloved actress known for Sistas and The Young and The Restless, has sadly passed away on April 2nd, 2026, at the age of 66, after a brave battle with cancer. Born in 1959 in Louisiana, she first served in the U.S. Marine Corps, a path that shaped her quiet strength. Years later, she followed her heart into acting. From 2010 to 2015, she led Pretty the series. She later appeared in Shameless in 2016 and NCIS, Los Angeles, in 2021. In the early 2020s, her role in Sistas became the one many will never forget. But her most powerful role came in real life. In 2026, while facing stage 4 lung cancer, Dee kept creating. She worked on turning her personal story, Poison Gun, into a novel. She showed up with grace, with dignity, and with a quiet courage that never asked for attention. As her publicist said, her legacy is not just in her work, but in how she made people feel. What will you remember most about Dee Freeman? Her light was gentle, but it will never fade.
You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.
James Tolkien, the iconic actor known for Back to the Future and Top Gun, has sadly passed away on March 27, 2026, at the age of 94 in Saranac Lake, New York. Born in 1931, his life began far from Hollywood. In the 1950s, he served in the U.S. Navy. Later, he arrived in New York with just $75 and a dream. By 1960, he made his screen debut in Naked City. In 1973, he appeared in Serpico alongside Al Pacino. Then came Broadway, 1984 to 1985, with Glengarry Glen Ross. But it was 1985, as the strict Mr. Strickland in Back to the Future, that made him unforgettable. And in 1986, his role in Top Gun gave him that commanding presence audiences loved. His life was not loud, it was steady. From a difficult childhood to starting with almost nothing, he built a career through discipline and quiet resilience. He didn't chase fame. He earned respect. Many will always hear his voice calling out slackers and smile. What do you remember most about James Tolkien? His presence was strong, and it will not be forgotten.
When you actually don't understand the problem and you don't have a solution, because most problems have to be dealt with at the level of detail.
Jordan Peterson. He taught millions of people how to face chaos, how to stand up straight, how to take responsibility when life felt unbearable, and then his own life unraveled in ways no lecture could prepare him for. No warning, no final message, just a slow, devastating silence where one of the loudest voices in the world used to be. So what happens when the man who told everyone else how to survive suddenly can't save himself? And what does that say about the limits of strength itself? Because this is not just a story about Jordan Peterson. This is a story about what it really costs to carry meaning through suffering until your body can no longer carry you. He was not born into power, no wealth, no connections, just a small, freezing town in Alberta, where winters lasted long enough to teach one simple truth: endurance is not optional. His father was a teacher, his mother, a librarian. And in a quiet room filled with books, a young boy began asking questions most people spend their lives avoiding. Why do people suffer? And more disturbingly, why do they make it worse? Those questions followed him everywhere, from the University of Alberta to McGill and eventually into Harvard's classrooms, where he became known not as a celebrity, but as something far more dangerous. A man who took ideas seriously. For years, he lived quietly, teaching, researching, listening to patients who were drowning in addiction, grief, purposelessness. He wasn't trying to be famous. He was trying to understand how people fall apart. But in 2016, everything changed. That's a simple video. No lights, no editing, just a professor speaking directly, saying what many people were thinking, but no one in authority dared to say out loud. Within weeks, the internet exploded. Within months, millions were watching. And by 2018, his book, 12 Rules for Life, had sold over 10 million copies. He became something rare. Not just a public figure, but a voice people leaned on when their own lives felt unstable. To some, he was a guide. To others, a threat. But to everyone, he was impossible to ignore. And that kind of attention does not come without a cost. Because while the world saw clarity, control, confidence behind the scenes, something was beginning to fracture. His wife, Tammy, received a diagnosis that felt like a sentence. A rare and aggressive kidney cancer. A terminal, according to early predictions. At the same time, Peterson himself began to feel something was wrong. The pressure, the pace, the responsibility of carrying millions of people's expectations. It was becoming too much. A doctor prescribed medication, something meant to stabilize anxiety, to help him keep going. And at first, it worked. It gave him relief. It gave him control. But slowly, almost invisibly, that same medication began to take control of him. Not all at once, not dramatically, but quietly, like something rewiring him from the inside, until the day he tried to stop and realized he couldn't. The very thing that was supposed to help him had turned against him. And what came next was not something you could talk your way out of, not something you could discipline your way through. It was something far more brutal. Withdrawal, a kind of suffering that doesn't just hurt, it dismantles you, physically, mentally, completely. While this was happening, his wife was still fighting cancer, and suddenly, the man who told millions to carry your burden was carrying too, at the same time, his own collapsing body, and the possibility of losing the person he loved most. In 2019, everything broke. His condition worsened to the point where conventional treatment was no longer enough. So his family made a desperate decision. They flew him to Russia, where doctors placed him into a medically induced coma. Think about that. A man who built his life on confronting reality had to be put unconscious just to survive it. When he woke up, he wasn't the same. He couldn't move normally. His coordination was gone, that even simple actions required effort. The body that once carried him across stages around the world now felt unfamiliar, unreliable, broken. For months, he disappeared, and the world kept watching his old lectures, quoting his words, believing he had everything figured out. But he didn't, because some battles don't care how strong you are, and just when it seemed like he might slowly rebuild, life delivered something even more cruel. In 2025, during something as ordinary as cleaning a family home after a loss, he was exposed to toxic mold, invisible, silent, and devastating. Within weeks, his immune system spiraled out of control. Inflammation spread through his body. His lungs filled. Pneumonia took hold. Then came sepsis, a condition doctors describe as a race between treatment and death. And he was rushed into intensive care, and this time, it was different. For nearly a month, he could not speak, not to the public, not to his family. The man whose words had held millions together could not form a sentence. And on the very same day, he was rushed into the hospital. Another crisis struck his family. His newborn granddaughter also rushed into emergency care, fighting for her life. 2 generations, 2 hospital rooms, 1 impossible moment. This was no longer just his battle. It was a family standing at the edge, together. His daughter would later describe it as something beyond medical, something that felt like everything was collapsing at once. Inside the ICU, his body continued to fail. His nervous system was damaged, signals between brain and body disrupted. The man who once stood firm against chaos now struggled with the most basic human functions: movement, control, stability. By the end of 2025, he made it home. Alive, but not whole. Recovery has been slow, unpredictable, and deeply humbling. There are days when progress feels real, and days when even getting out of bed feels like a victory. Because here is the truth no one talks about enough. There comes a point where discipline doesn't fix it, where willpower doesn't fix it, where even meaning itself doesn't fix it. Because the body operates on its own terms. Today, he lives quietly in Arizona. No crowds, no constant spotlight, just something much simpler. His wife, who survived what doctors once called terminal. His daughter, who sits with him for hours, not as a public figure, but as a father. At his grandchildren, who know him not as a global voice, but as someone who is still here. And maybe that is the part of this story that matters most. Not the fame, not the controversy, not even the ideas, but the fact that after everything, after the collapse, the coma, the ICU, the silence, he is still here, still trying, still healing, still facing something he never chose, but refuses to turn away from. Because in the end, the greatest lesson he may have ever given the world was never written in a book. It's being lived right now, quietly. That even when your strength fails, even when your body turns against you, even when the rules you built your life on stop working, you don't disappear. You don't give up. You stay. You endure. So let me ask you something. When life pushes you past everything you thought you could survive, what is the one thing that would keep you going?
I didn't think you'd let me later.
Thank you, Miss Desmacher.
Valerie Perrine, the iconic Superman actress and Oscar-nominated star of Lenny, has sadly passed away on March 23, 2026, at the age of 82, after a long and courageous battle with Parkinson's disease. Born in 1943, Perrine began as a Las Vegas showgirl before rising to Hollywood fame in Slaughterhouse-Five, 1972. Her unforgettable breakthrough came in 1974, earning an Academy Award nomination and Cannes Best Actress for Lenny. In 1978 and 1980, she became a pop culture icon as Eve Teschmacher in Superman, a role fans would cherish for decades. But behind the glamour, her life carried quiet heartbreak. In 1969, she lost her fiancé in a tragic accident. That same year, fate spared her from the Sharon Tate tragedy. Decades later, in 2015, she was diagnosed with Parkinson's, And as her voice faded and her body weakened, she faced it all with remarkable courage, grace, and quiet strength, never asking for sympathy. She lived an extraordinary life, her family shared. Fans still hear that iconic call, "Miss Teschmacher!" What will you remember most about Valerie Perrine? Her beauty lit up Hollywood, but her resilience is her true legacy.